Okay, so let's finish the Maimer and then continue. We'll start the new Maimer. So, Eizai, Zehu, Shir, Hashirim. So, a very interesting Maimer that the whole Maimer is speaking about that even though Simchas is pashtos an expression, but the true hispashtos, the true self-expression, is when you're expressing the Simcha Shalamayla, basically, and therefore it's on the one hand bittul, at the same time, therefore expansive. So the whole Maimon was explaining the Maila of Yayin / Divrei Sofrim, Teresh Baal Peh, the Makabel, Bina, Beker, Bina over Chachma. But the fact is that the Pasuk says, Toivim Teidechem Yayin. There's the Indian Teidechem, which is higher than Yayin. And the whole Maimon is explaining the Maila of Yayin. Eizai now concludes. Greater is your friendship than wine. So simcha, which is bound up with it, which is wine, because wine, as explained, is concealed in the grape and then is revealed. It's all giloy that comes after the helem. The helem being the tzimtzum. Or mamshich levayin, he goes on to say the Alter Rebbe shekamei atzmusa yizborech. So this is mitzad ishtal shalos. There's the mile of giloy over helem. However, for the Eibishter for atzmos, in a gam or vegiloy zeh shove machayshech. For the Eibishter, it's all equal. It's all him. So this giloy that is post tzimtzum is the same as the tzimtzum itself, and therefore, Zen Nema is going to reconcile with speaking the Maila here of giloy, and yet the pasuk says Kitoivim Deidechem Yai. The answer is she's galus bechinism husarts musayim shechalei teira mitzvahs. That's the Deidechem. Your etzem, that's this galad through teira mitzvahs. How does it Toivim Yai? And that's even higher than Yai. So now we're kind of okay. So Simcha now was fallen by the way. If the Amshach of Atzmos is Torah Mitzvah, so yes, Simcha, no Simcha, not really that significant. And not only is not that significant, who needs it? If Simcha is just the mile of Gilo in his Pashtos, and Torah Mitzvah is the Amshach of Atzmos, that's it. It's Kabbalah's oil, the Mekayim Torah Mitzvah, you don't need Simcha. You Mamshach the Etzer. However, this is the Omdam is coming to answer this unspoken question. Well, it's implied but not articulated fully. However, in light of that which we said before, which is the Sifei is the heart of the Maimer. That have insisted that what the of Simcha and Shleim was is rooted in Atzmos. Well, that's the same address of Torah and mitzvahs. So therefore we can have both milas. I knew what both milas. The milam shachas ha'etzem and giloy. Hainu she giloy ha'oyer ha'poyel simcha, meaning that revelation, and simcha is only revelation. Simcha is not a concealed state. It's a tzir. It's a tzir of giloy. Now he's saying that Atzmos is beyond and equally expressed in all these tziyurim, so we're having both. Meaning that the Giloy Apayol Simcha, Giloy which is necessary, that's what Simcha is in Ayayin, that's Bina, that's his Pashtus, etc. It's not just Giloy. It's both. Because we're talking about the Atzmis Dike Simcha, and therefore when the pasuk says we have to say Tovim Deidechem Yayim, we don't. That's the lower darga of Simcha, the lower darga of Yayin of Bina, which doesn't have not rooted in Atzmos, just these pashtus per se. But now he's saying that no, what kind of Simcha are we talking about? A much deeper one. He's pashtus that's rooted where in the Etzem. So it's the fusion of both. Usually we say Etzem built him is Gala, but Etzem is Nisgala. Etzem is this Gal and Simcha. not just usually we say it because it's a thing we like to quote. It's a mitzius that atzmus can't be in this gala, but lepeil mamish through simcha it is. Why? Because it's an atzmizdik simcha. These galus, these pashtus is atzmizdik. To think about this long and deep and hard, but that's in a good. And that's only if the simcha is not a personal state. I'm so happy today. It's when the happiness is the happiness of atzmos, and that's what his happiness is, then it's atzmizdik, and it's both giloy and etzem. He's both revealed and concealed at the same time. And this will be b'shleimus. This the giluy etzem is what he's saying, which normally logically are incompatible, giluy and etzem, but it is in simcha, and the shleimus will be lasid lovay. Why? Because it's again the holy spashtus is atzmizdik is spashtus. Sh'oz here giluy atzmus mamish, then will be the giluy mamish. Now we have it now in the aved of simcha. B'yachad im zeh. So on the one hand, Giloy Atzmus, which is that's all you knew, you would conclude everything else is bottled b'mitzias. But it's not so. Obviously, the tachlis habitl that comes in the face of Giloy Atzmos, but elagam, that's the whole point of everything. Is this nekuda? The whole point of the whole creation, the whole kavanah pnimius is that gamin in hasoga, that together with Giloy Atzmos will remain consciousness and yispashtus and hasoga and understanding. Beifin shal yispashtus v'yisrachvus, expansive more and more. We're going to be learning and learning and expanding, all expressive of ad lemerchav atzmi. All of it in every level is both at the same time growing, at the same time not growing, because it's inyan atzmi. It's pashtus and etzmi at the same time. No, that's what it is. And that's why the simcha will be the shleimus then. And the song, Shir, Hashirim, the song of songs, which is connected to Shekosher Gamim, Hashir de Losadove, the 10th Shira, which we will sing when Mashiach will come, Ozi Hashir, Shazen Nema, Vandelach Hashir Chodesh, we will praise you with a new song. That's the Atzmizdik song, that is Koilel, his Pashtus and Etzem, all at once, in one seamless expression of the truth of God. Now, we'll look at the summary. It's on the page, on the table, and I posted it. It's on your on the Siddur chat. Let's read it. It means, Pasha, you look at the Yid and his Simcha and you see the Eibishter dancing. You see Elikus Freitzach. In his Simcha, in his Simcha. Adrab, in every detail of his Simcha, you see Elikus even clearer. Dafk in his Pashtas. That's Simcha. You see in him Klal Yisrael. You see him in the Eibishter. You see him every year. You see in that Simcha. If you're seeing his personal Simcha, then this is not the Simcha we're speaking about. He's having a good day. He's having a really good day. Not talking about having a good day. Talking about being a Yid in the deepest way. So if you see in him Klal Yisrael, you see him in the Eibishter. You see Hatzabrochen and Freilich and Ishaliki. Okay, that's Rebbe, but that's Atzmizdik Simcha. You have to see Tzabrochen, because you're in the suffering, in the Shintas Begalusach. In the Simcha, now go figure that out. Tzabrochen and Freilich, and that's an Atzmizdik Simcha. For those who don't know, I'm referring to the story I've told you many times, a letter that the Chassid of Yitzchak Golden wrote to his friend Reb Zalman Sreberansky in 1953. Reb Zalman was already sent to Australia. And Reb Zalman had not seen the Rebbe. He wasn't in Paris. Is that possible? I don't think he had seen the Rebbe. No, he was there. He did. But Kapani, he didn't. He didn't see him as Rebbe. So he describes the Rebbe to him, and he talks about the Rebbe fasting. He said, I'm going to do something about it. He's going to the oil, and he doesn't sleep, and he doesn't eat. And then he said, Zalman, you have no idea. Ein lecha musig tainug, the tainug. Kashem istaklim achakad mushlitim. We look at the Rebbe, Roy, and we see, and he breaks into Yiddish at Zerbrochen and Freilich and Yishaliki, a shattered, joyous man of God. That's him. Not sometimes he's like this, like that. This is what you see. A broken, joyous, he's pashtus, Yishaliki. So that's Atzmidik Simcha. That's the Rebbe already did. But that's what he's talking about. Let's look at the summary. Yayin, kosher, im inyan ha-simcha. So wine's connected with simcha. Wine mitzad yitzim and helam al-agilya, because wine is all about going from a concealed state to a revealed state. The juices in the grape concealed and then revealed. And of course it pearls, it affects physiologically, opening up a revelation of what's normally hidden. Hashirim the Chag Pesach, and it's dafka connected to Pesach. The whole Shir Hashirim basically is about Pesach, which is Rosh Hashanah Lagolim. What's Yontif? Pesach is the first in the series with many halachic ramifications. The fact it's number one. So and what is it? One of Mayadim LeSimcha. And what's that? Yayin. And then we see Befrat B'Chag Pesach. That's why we see in the emphasis of wine, dafka Pesach, Dalet Koises. And it's connected because Pesach opens up the channel to the final redemption. What's going to be the final redemption? Will be intoxicated in Chassidus. The Pnimis Torah will be revealed. And what is that? That's the Yayin, the wine of Torah. Shirim is in the Pnimis Torah, Yishakerim and Yishikas Piyu, as Rashi explains. L'chayre, Tainug is deeper. Maila Simcha, Gam L'gabi Tainug. Is what mitzad Yisrachvus ve'Yispashtus. The mile of expression, the mile of expansiveness, that's simcha. Tainig is you're transfixed. True tainig, you're not moving. You're oblivious to your surroundings. Simcha is the opposite. It's embracing, and it's Yisrachvus, and it's Pashtus. That's the mile of Bina, which is rooted in the Merch of Atzmi, the expansiveness of the essence. The Gabe, even over Chachma, which is Bittul, because normally we extol the, conventionally, we extol the virtue of bittul of chachma. No, the mile is in bina. It needs the nekudas chachma that remain bina. Doesn't have the bittul, then it gets waylaid. Al derech mile is divrei sofrim. That this is the mile of the divrei sofrim. Bina lagab divrei Torah chachma. Hashem says they're more precious to me the words of the divrei sofrim than the words of Torah. And what's the mile of divrei sofrim? It's like the mile of loisas over asay, but it's in Torah. Which means, what's the mile of loisas asay? It's not nislabish and kelim. Shagam ma'idus she'enam yachem lavi bepnimius ki masagas hashlila. You can't relate to it directly, but indirectly. Therefore, you do not do. That's the mile of divrei sofrim, because the whole genre, the whole thing is about making siyogim and protecting. And there are lois orientation, and yet nimshachim al yedei divrei sofrim. There's also mitzvahs aseh like Hallel and the seven mitzvahs and bracha rishon and Chanukah and Purim and so on. And it comes in a pnimius. So I have the mile of lois aseh and kumva aseh. Get up and do betvisa bekelim and kelim. Which is the end of the Maimer. That's the spashtas, the fusion of etzem and gilui. That's deeper than Eir and Keli, but that's rooted there. Eir and Keli is rooted there. Follow what I just said now. This last statement. Yeah, if you say to me, and even more so, we see this in Pnimis HaTorah, this fusion of Bligul and Gvul, Sham Shachas Ha'ir, Hiledak Basi, the Chachamim brought it down into action. Okay, it's one thing, because that's the action is bittul, so it's a keli for what? For the Bligvul. But to understand Bligvul, that's in a bigger Chiddush. And that's Chiddush. Sham Shachas Ha'ir, Hiledak Basi, Elagam Ba'avon Nevasaga. So even a deeper fusion or deeper expression of divrei sofrim that the Nesim will megala before Mashiach comes. Yeah, the Maimon goes on to explain the keli for the infinite is not havana vasoga, not his pashtus, but bittul, the opposite. So he's elaborating that, explaining simcha is on the contrary, is state of great feeling, not bittul. He's a state of elation. And that can be, therefore, if the simcha is not betachlis habittul, lower levels of simcha, the taka is godly but not bittul. Bracket shezega machsadim min an the goyim. What's in the goyim? The goyim is a corruption of the levin ha'elyon. How does the goyim happen? Because we're missing the Isis of Torah. Said was Rachel and Leah. Shenistalak meichin the abba nisharak meichin the imma. The goyim is the bittul is gone, and all you have is the self. The meichin the imma bina. That's no good. So you have to have the bina, the bittul still remaining there. So bina alone, without the nekudas hachachma, is leads in the goyim, leads to corruption. It's plishtim. It's plishtim. Plishtim is the opposite of simcha and klipa. It's open-ended, moving mafulish, an open alleyway. So this is Mavai. Why did they should take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim through Kikorevo? Plishtim was a direct route to Yisrael. The answer is Plishtim is Avodas HaSimcha. You don't start with Simcha like that. It's a whole Achon and Avodah, that the Simcha should be the way it should be and not be a Niki and Chitzonim. If that's all it is, then it's a self-trip. Kikorevo. It's easy, but if it's not attained through Avodah, then it ends up being a corruption. So the simcha is all about hergesh and betzias. The answer is not the true simcha. That who increases in their connection to Hashem through joy, it's dafka anovim, the humble ones. And later explains the deeper touch in the pasuk that they're Moishe Hashem Avaya, because they draw that. Shasimcha amitis, again, we're not explaining the Maimon, this is just an overview, just threading it all together. Shamitis hasimcha mitzad anov, the true simcha is mitzad bittul dafke. Again, because it's, I'm having a good day, and tomorrow he's not having such a good day, and he's distracted by his phone now, so it's all over. He's capricious. He's up and down. Impossible to live with. Good mood, bad mood. Because it's all what? It's all chitzonius, it's all the ego trip. To whatever degree it is, levels and levels of ego. But when the simcha is rooted be'emes, then he can rely on the fella. So when it's mitzad, hanova heder agoshes atzmoi, mitzad habitul likus, yisimchot he's a chosid, he's a yid. The story of Baal Shem Tov, do you hear that story? You weren't here. My grandson told me this. That's why we're learning this Maimer. That exactly what, but in the Kud is that there's maybe it's a Bacher. In Yechidus, like, what should he be besimcha about? How can he be besimcha? The Rebbe said to him, because you're a chassid, and your father's a chassid, and you dreizach amongst chassidim. There you go. That's it. And that causes there's no limit. This guy, you can't contain him. He's not disposed from anything. There's nothing that can hold him back. And what needs to be done as a yid, and he does so with joy. He's always ready for a rikud. He has to contain himself, not to dance. I knew such a the Baral Sebransky was like that. Zalman's son. When I recorded the story I just told you, is the father of Zalman, who got the letter from his friend. This is his son, the Baral, our teacher. The Baral was like, no, he passed away a couple of years ago. But the Baral, as we affectionately called him, was always ready for a rikud. Like he had to contain himself not to dance, because you're in Meshuggah, you're dancing all the time. But he was mitzad him, constant state of simcha. That's the kesher, the connection in Mizmor Samar Dalet. It's nice to grow up with such Jews, huh? That's the kesher with the Mizmah Samagdalos B'Tehillim, which is the Rebbe's capital that year, Tov Shin Chaf Hey, capital 64, Shesiyim V'Chaismai. What's the end of the capital? Yismach Tzadik B'Avaya, Yin of Simcha. And the Medrash connects it, V'Kesher, Mashakosev El Minna, Yismach Tzadik Yichazan Nokim. Where did you think that bad say it's connected? The Medrash connects it to the joy of the Tzadik who sees in God's vengeance. How could there be the enemies have simcha from that? Because it's not his, it's the Eibishter's. And it was whole arichas there about Daniel. In the end, they rejoiced over his enemies' downfall. Simcha al piroin arashoyim. The simcha on the punishment, the retribution of the wicked. That's not a stira. That's included in these pashtas and these rachmas. That's the real test of it. The real test of it is you personally delighting in your enemy's downfall, or because this is your wickedness has been eradicated. And it's God's joy. That's really the test of these pashtas and these rachvos, that it's not a personal thing, it's the Eivish Simcha. Shegam hi simcha de l'mayla, that also is the simcha de l'mayla. That's what the pasuk says, when your enemy falls, al tismach means personally. Al tismach you, but if the simcha is the Eivish Simcha, then that's why I'm just thinking, one of the akavas nigunim, which was like one of the heavy ones, literally the meaning is the horns. The horns means the sekeren, the expashtus of the wicked all uproot and elevate the tzaddik. That's the thing that's sung here. Yeah. Because the whole simcha is gila likus in the world, and if there's rishus and wickedness, just because your little corner is full of light, how can you be with simcha on this wickedness and injustice? The whole karn in Hashem, and that was a meridik nigan, and just the way it's sung, just the melody bespeaks of this is not we won victory and we exalt in the personally in the defeat of an enemy. It's avoid the Gadol of Chalkan, that was faced was meridik. Chalkan Hashem Agadei. It was sung slowly. And the Oivav was think about it now, it's awesome. Something's going on, David. Goosebumps. Not much goosebumps. We were zeker to see, Pasha, the Simcha Atzmis Kipshuta. But Shaykh every year, every chassid, that's why we're learning this.